Was the apology enough? Now, this is a question a friend of mine actually asked me. Are apologies enough? Yeah, are apologies enough when it comes to business? And that is a very good question, I realize, because most of the time, especially at this time in this era, we live in a world where people believe apologies are enough. That the moment I say sorry or I apologize for that, you should accept and acknowledge that I have apologized for my mistake or for whatever mistake my business has done. Now, I would love to correct this notion and say that most of the times, especially when it comes to businesses, an apology is not enough. You might have to follow it up with a number of few things that will help you retain that relationship that you had with a customer. So let's say a client has come in and confessed that they didn't appreciate something regarding your business or gave you feedback that, well, is not really on the good side. Most of the times, we could actually just say sorry or I apologize on behalf of the person that did that mistake and let it go end there. And funny thing is, most of the time, this person might take it and never come back. They might acknowledge your apology but never come back. And the reason this is because they don't feel that acknowledged. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. A lot of people don't feel like words are enough when it comes to apologies. A lot of people, even in normal relationships, feel that you have to accompany an apology with an action or show that you really, really are apologetic. Now, when it comes to business, this is very true. It is really important to ensure that, first of all, that you have understood their concern, why they're angry, why they're disappointed. It's really good to ensure that you are practicing active listening to grasp what exactly the problem is. Because if that problem happens to happen again, they might never want to associate themselves with you. So if you are able to take note of what caused that problem, you will help this client more than just acknowledging that there is a problem. Two, the other thing is ensure that not only have you acknowledged, you could follow up with an action. One, if they maybe say that their delivery was late, you could ensure that the next time it's actually 10 minutes earlier or 30 minutes earlier. Yeah, so maybe it's a lunch order and they complain that, hey, your lunch, the deliveries are now coming in late. You could surprise us with bringing in the lunch an hour earlier and be like, oh, nice. It means that they had my concern and they acted on it. So that is another way of ensuring that you are acknowledging a customer's concern. The third thing is could always follow up with written communication. The reason people put things into writing is to enhance that. It's to enhance the confirmation that it will not happen again because it serves as evidence that you said this will not happen again, that you said you're sorry, that you apologized. And by following up with maybe an email, you are showing this person that you actually acknowledged, that you listened, and that you're able to take action to whatever concern that they raised. Now, in case you're writing maybe an email, it's really important to note or note down the issue that this client raised. So if they say that there was late delivery, it's important to note, dear Emily, we take note of the late deliveries that you've been getting for the last 1 week. Yeah. And we want to ascertain that this is an issue we have sorted. We have made agreements with the people on the ground to ensure that they make the deliveries on time. By create what action you decided to do. Is it that you agreed that the delivery will be deliveries will be leaving this place an hour earlier so that they can be there by that time? Is it that you have agreed that we've added an extra person to ensure that all deliveries reach the destined place in time? All that, ensure that you write down the action that you've taken. Now, the other thing is after sales calls. I like to use after sales, but it's actually remedy calls. I like to call them remedy calls. Remedy calls are calls that you make to ensure that a matter was truly acted on. So let's say this person once again said that there was a late delivery. You want to call and ask them if this delivery, as you had promised, was delivered on time. So it'll be like, hey, Emily, did you receive your lunch? Do you receive your lunch on time as we had promised you? And maybe you even know that it reached on time, but you just want to ensure that you are following up to create a relationship, because it's all about relationships, guys. I'll always mention that in all my videos. It's all about creating a meaningful relationship. Now, if you do that, what you're doing is you are showing action, you're being empathetic, and you're also practicing what we call fixing relationships. That is how you fix a relationship. A good example is if you were to discuss or rather talk about personal relationships. If your boyfriend was to make you angry or your girlfriend made you angry, there's a high probability that you might not trust them again with the same thing or matter. And what a good boyfriend or girlfriend will do is call you to confirm that, hey, I hope that you're okay now that you received the flowers on your birthday. Or hey, I hope that you reached home on time, being that I was able to do the Uber delivery, all that. It's just a way of showing that you are actually very attentive to their concerns. And it is the best way, especially for business, the best way to ensure that you're clinging on to your customers is through remedy calls. Remedy calls are the best. It really establishes meaningful rapport with clients. Now, was the apology enough? No, it wasn't. Please ensure that you practice these steps to be able to create more meaningful relationships, to be able to create long-term clients, to be able to create return clients, and also referrals. Yeah.